The final weekend of the regular season brings us to the home of one of the state's last unbeatens. The WestgateCars.com High School Hoops, presented by West Shore Home. The SWAC champion Apex Friendship Patriots put their 13-0 mark against the Titans of South Garner. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Patrick Keenis alongside Jay Sohnhalter. The regular season wraps up this weekend. Apex has laid claim to its first outright SWAC title in school history. They are in. The playoffs will begin on Tuesday. South Garner, meanwhile, Jay, has rescheduled a game. They're coming off of a COVID break. A game tonight, a game tomorrow, trying to get into the postseason.
And tonight's game is going to be so important for them to try to put themselves in a position tomorrow with another game at 11 a.m. and for Apex Friendship. How about an undefeated season? It's just been a remarkable season. They want to close it out strong here tonight going to the playoffs.
All right, let's talk about a couple of the key players we will be watching. First off for South Garner, it is the 6'4 junior Nigel Okwakal.
He's had a dominant season, 14.7 rebounds per game. He's a college prospect. He dominates the paint area, so good with his post moves and also on the defensive end blocking shots.
And meanwhile, for Apex Friendship, already 5 D1 offers, a number that is likely to rise. It is Kenny Nolan.
He's a sharp shooter from the outside. He had 37 points on Tuesday night against Holly Springs. He can drive into the paint as well, averaging 24 points per game on this season. And Patrick, he's playing his best basketball of the season at the right time.
All right, when these teams met a couple of weeks ago in late January, South Garner led by 1 with 2 minutes left. What gets them over the hump with our keys?
Well, tonight they're going to have to defend the three-point line to get over that hump, and they've also got to create turnovers. They've got to play outstanding on the defensive end. Apex Friendship, they want to control the glass, and then they play their best on the offensive end when they get out into transition, get easy buckets, and they pick up the pace.
All right, 2 of the newer programs in the Triangle, year 6 for Apex Friendship, and just the 3rd year of existence for South Garner. Lineups and tip-off coming up next from Apex. Back inside Apex Friendship High School, Patrick Keenis and Jay Sohnhalter are counting down to tip-off between the 4 and 5 South Garner Titans and the undefeated 13-0 Patriots from Apex Friendship. Well, Jay, this is the last weekend of the regular season. The bracket should be unveiled on Sunday. First round games later next week, beginning on Tuesday, but it's a condensed bracket, 16 in the East, 16 in the West, and big one tonight for South Garner. But explain the whole litany of how the playoff brackets will be determined this year.
Well, it's going to be an interesting situation this year, unlike any others we face in South Garner. So many games here right at the final stretch. A game tomorrow morning, and they have to win this game tonight to give themselves an opportunity. But for them on the East, there's going to be 6 conference champions, and then there's going to be, after that, it's going to be at-large teams. And then it's going to be really, Patrick, we talked about it earlier with the coaches. It's going to be luck of the draw, picking out of the hat and picking your draw for those conference champions.
All right, so meanwhile, that's the situation as far as the postseason goes for the 2 head coaches. Tonight's going to be interesting. There's a look at the assistant coach who will be the acting head coach tonight for the Apex Friendship Patriots. That's Jalen Wiley. As the head coach, P.J. Lohman, we spoke with him earlier today. He's been in COVID-19 protocol, and he's back on Tuesday. Let's pause now for our national anthem. Undefeated Apex Friendship hosting South Garner. Lineups and tip-off coming up next. South Garner 4-5, 4-4 in the SWAC. Apex Friendship 11-0 in conference and unbeaten overall at 13-0. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sohnhalter, and there is Samayan Jones, the first year as the interim head coach here for South Garner. Team was picked dead last preseason in the SWAC. Here they are, a game tonight, a game tomorrow morning against Holly Springs, and a shot at taking this team to the postseason.
He's done a great job in giving his team an opportunity to extend their run in the postseason, and this is, a team that's really gelling for the first time, Patrick, and what he's been able to do has been remarkable.
Glad to have you with us. South Garner in the dark uniforms, the Patriots in the home whites, and we are underway in what will be the SWAC finale for Apex Friendship. 13-0, and that includes a 7-point win over South Garner in late January. Corey Jones, number 2, the player to watch, along with number 12, Nigel Aquacall. And this is Josh Johnson. And the rebound grabbed by Kenny Nolan. Quick release down the floor. Nolan looking for Cole Ganem. And the first points belong to Apex Friendship.
That's where the Patriots are at their best, pushing the pace, looking ahead for fast break opportunity.
Let's take a look at the Garner starting lineup. Corey Jones averaging 14 a game. 2 of the starters, though, new to school. Jones transferred from North Raleigh Christian Academy, and King in from Broughton. As we are tied about a minute into this contest, 2-2. Meanwhile, for Apex Friendship, the Proctor brothers in the starting lineup. Gabe is the shooter. Luke is a much more traditional player. 4 seniors in this lineup for their regular season finale. And again, P.J. Lohman, head coach for the Patriots, not here tonight. He missed their last game against Holly Springs earlier in the week. His quarantine will end over the weekend, and he should be back on the bench on Tuesday for Apex Friendship's first playoff contest of the year. Little runner with the left hand missed by Luke Proctor, and the rebound to South Garner. And very important for Aquacall and the Titans to get out to a good start here on the road. And this would be a marquee win for the Titans as you look at the schedule they've played over the course of this year. A win tonight could very well claim them one of those third-place at-large berths. There aren't many, but that might be enough here tonight if it comes true.
A big sense of urgency for the Titans, and earlier on in the season played Apex Friendship very close. They just couldn't find that extra gear to win the ball game, but they feel like tonight, with the momentum they're playing with and how important this game is, they've got to play their best.
And there is Nolan, well defending that back cut on the baseline, blocked the pass away and led a fast break on his own. And he will head to the free throw line. And there is a look at Jalen Wiley, who is the assistant coach and the acting head coach here tonight for the Patriots.
Nolan has such good basketball sense. You see him on the fast break there, getting the contact, kind of knowing how to use his body to draw defenders over and get to the line.
So our first set of free throws tonight presented by the U.S. Coast Guard. GoCoastGuard.com. And a couple of free throws for Apex. First 2 points for Nolan, and it's a 4-2 lead for Apex Friendship.
And the Patriots, they're going to play predominantly in this ballgame, man-to-man defense. And South Garner, they want to use a lot of pick and rolls to try to get some opportunities going north and south toward the hoop.
This is Corey Jones, defended by Nolan. Jalen King on the baseline, a little bit of a bump and does not get the soft roll on the baseline. And the rebound brought down by Luke Proctor. And quickly they look in transition. A stop and a soft kiss off the grass by Will Askin. And a 4-point early lead for Apex Friendship.
See on that fast break, the Patriots keeping their eyes up, looking for their teammates. Beautiful pass and easy too.
That's twice we've seen one sprinting right down the floor and getting back behind the defense. And a couple of fast break opportunities here. Another turnover by the Titans and an early advantage for Apex Friendship. Long skip to Nolan. He drives on Jones, hands through the lane, and is absolutely taken away by the Titans' Josh Johnson. And Johnson, good feed on the inside, whistle blown. That's going to count. Bucket by Julian King, and a nice find and excellent patience on the inside by King.
Josh Johnson so tough with the basketball. With his vision, we see here, kind of just dish the ball off through defenders into the paint. There's the contact, the and-one opportunity coming up here, but that's what South Garner has to do. They've got to protect the basketball, get on the run, and make good decisions.
And the free throw is made by King. 3-point play. 6-5 Apex Friendship, closing in on the first 4 minutes of this opening quarter. And Jay, take a look at the schedule that South Garner has played Yes, they're under 500 overall, but a lot of tight losses at the buzzer, down the stretch, leads lost in the fourth quarter. They have confidence, and this will be a banner win, and in transition, layup is missed. Second effort, though, is good from Bailey, and the first lead of the night for South Garner.
Well, and that's the ingredient, that second effort. That's what they need to do to win a ball game against such a good Apex Friendship team. They've got to get those extra rebounds, those steals, good defensive effort, and so far, I think the coaching staff has to be very pleased with how they're coming out here.
And Luke Proctor tripped, flying in off of the right wing, blocking foul as the senior Proctor lifted to his feet.
Josh Johnson is second.
Foul goes on Josh Johnson. That's already 2 on the junior point guard for South Garner. And he is going to depart the game for the Titans. And that is a big loss for Johnson. Played a lot of JV ball last year, tough kid. And immediately to the hole, Apex Friendship able to reclaim the lead, 8-7.
And you're right, though, that is a big loss with Johnson going out of the ball game. Only a junior, but he's a leader for this team. He's been with the program since he was a freshman. You know, somebody that handles the ball, but his teammates really look up to him in his play.
This is Aquacall out of the corner. We'll see a lot of man-to-man, heavy on the ball pressure by Askin. And that's a tough shot miss on the baseline by Bailey. And Apex Friendship, they love to get out and run. Trap out of the corner, long skip to an open Nolan. Proctor through, locates Ganem for 3 out of the corner.
You see the respect that Nolan gets immediately closing out, but this Apex Friendship team, everybody's so versatile. They can shoot from the outside, so it's just not a one-man gang. Everybody really has great range from beyond the three-point line.
That's the first West Shore home three-pointer of the game. A reminder, you can convert your old bathtub into a modern, spacious walk-in shower in just one day. And Kenny Nolan in transition off of another Titans turnover. And Apex Friendship, dangerous moment, getting out and running and up 6.
And Coach Jones over there on the sideline, good timeout to settle his team down. And for the Titans, when they don't turn the ball over, they've had ability to execute in the half-court offense, but when you turn the ball over, you see the Patriots just sprint up the court and convert, and they've got to protect the basketball, make wise decisions, because right now the turnovers are killing them.
All right, let's talk about the job that Samayan Jones has done with the Titans this year. I mean, he grew up in Cove City, North Carolina, Craven County, was a major high school football player and basketball player, as you can imagine by that size he brings on that sideline. He was a tight end recruit of Mike O'Kane at NC State, was there briefly, transferred to ECU, and he played under Steve Logan for 3 years. But he said he liked the cafeteria. The cafeteria was very friendly to him in Greenville, and so he went from being a tight end to an offensive lineman. But basketball, his big passion. He's done a great job with this program.
Yeah, and you know, that football background of being physical on the line of scrimmage, you know, he's brought that over to the basketball court. And this isn't a tall team, you know, but they're very athletic and they're physical and they're tough down low. And you know, he's just what he's been able to do, bringing his team together in a different year, unlike any other, to really get them playing this way. It's been a really nice season he's been able to put together.
A reminder, get free delivery on all of your favorite meals through Wegmans Meals to Go for a limited time. 13-7, Apex on top of South Garner. 3:06 left in this opening quarter. And special greetings go out to the head coach of the Apex Friendship Patriots, P.J. Lohman, who is missing his second straight game in COVID-19 protocol. He expects to be back on the bench on Tuesday when the playoffs begin. So he is right now at home with his wife, his 2 sets of twins, twin boys at 7, a boy and a girl twins at 4, and their dog. And not sure how he's handling the inability to be here tonight, but he has to be impressed with how his team has gotten out and running in the first 5 minutes of this opening quarter.
A good start for his team, and hopefully everything is quiet at his house right now. But it was great to talk with him earlier today, and he's so proud of his team and what they've been able to do.
Let's see how the Titans come out of this timeout. King chucks up top, and this is Kia Smith called for a walk. Smith brings a lot of energy to the floor for the Titans. The 5'11 senior called for the turnover, and that's been a real Achilles heel in this opening quarter for South Garner.
And that's something they have to clean up. If they want to win this ball game against an undefeated team, you cannot continue to have these mistakes and get the ball back.
P.J. Lohman telling us about his team, and he's been coaching for a long time, but he believes this is the best shooting team he has ever had. Here's Gabe Proctor, and Proctor misses a three, but there's so many weapons on the outside for this Patriots team. You have to defend and honor that three-point line all across the perimeter for the Titans.
And it allows driving opportunities when you have defenders closing out so strong on you. You can have opportunities to get into the paint, and that's something, when they're knocking down their threes, it's great, but if they're not, they can still drive and attack the rim.
Oh, look at those moves by Nigel Aquacall. A couple of crossovers, a spin in the lane, and then finishes using not the right, but the left hand.
And that's why he's a college prospect. He can finish with both hands, and there with a little hook shot, impressive move.
And right back, that's Aquacall again, the mid-range off of the baseline, and he's getting engaged.
And you see the inside and the outside game, and he's a guy that they've got to continue to feed the ball. You can tell that he's confident shooting, and you continue to target him with the ball.
Lead down to 2 for the Patriots. It's time for Nolan. Off of the heel with a 3, offensive rebound by Askin, and a second crack for Apex Friendship. And a little stutter step, and Nolan's going to be called for the walk.
Isaac Holmes for the Patriots.
Isaac Holmes now on the floor for Apex Friendship, and Askin heads to the bench. 13-11, South Garner trailed by 6, and shot to tie or grab the lead. So a judicious use of the timeout by Samayan Jones.
Yeah, and settled down the team. Buckle got hot. So again, as long as they don't turn the ball over, they're going to give themselves a chance.
Julian King showing some athleticism in that lane. And we're all tied, 6 straight to the Titans.
And he's a transfer into South Garner. He's really had a big presence coming in this season. And there you see the nice mid-range jumper.
And the 3-ball not going down early. Only one in this opening quarter for the Patriots. And now South Garner with a chance to grab the lead. Aquacall again. You can see confidence is oozing from him based on the last 4 or 5 possessions and his success. Switching defensively, Aquacall still with it. Ganem harassing him, Aquacall takes him and cannot swirl that one down. And quickly ahead, a 2-on-1 lob to the rim, and the finish by Kenny Olin. A delicate feed coming from the opposite side on that break from Luke Proctor.
They do not believe in a slow-pace offense. They're immediately looking up after that board was taken up, pushing the pace up for 2.
That shot blocked away by Proctor and taken down by Ganem. 8 seconds to go in the quarter. Time for the Patriots to get the last shot, but he squirts the dribble away, and now a lead break with 2 seconds left to the hole, and that's going to count from Corey Jones at the horn. And a tremendous late first quarter rally by the South Garner Titans. Trailing by 6, sparked by Nigel Aquacall, and this buzzer beater in transition. Jones gets it to go just before the horn. We're tied after 1 in Apex. $15-all after 1 quarter from Apex. South Garner and the Patriots of Apex Friendship. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sonehalter with you. Second quarter underway. Apex Friendship in the white uniforms. South Garner in the dark. Big game tonight for the Titans. Again, they've been on a quarantine really for about the last couple of weeks as Kenny Nolan drains a 3. And the lead back to 3 for Apex Friendship, 18-15. But they were on really a pause for almost 2 weeks. They just got back to the practice gym Tuesday, back on the floor to play a game on Wednesday. They were scheduled to play Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to close out the season. They got Wednesday's game in, did not play yesterday. They're playing tonight. They've been able to reschedule the game lost from last night as a 3 is knocked down by Proctor, back-to-back by the Patriots. And quickly it's a 6-point lead. But they have an 11 a.m. game tomorrow with Holly Springs because they feel they need at least 1 more win to qualify for the playoffs, and then the brackets will be revealed on Sunday. Yeah,
and a ball game tomorrow with quick turnaround, a lot of effort, and this game tonight means so much going into tomorrow's ball game, and it's really going to test your depth. And Patrick, the question I have is, are they going to sleep in a uniform tonight, or what's going to be the situation?
Not only is it going to test their depth, it's going to test their ability to do clean laundry and turn it around so fast. We were joking with Samayan Jones earlier today. By the time they get back home after this game tonight, it's going to be around, 9:30 or so for the South Garner team. And Samayan Jones says I had to do laundry yesterday because of the game we played Wednesday. I have to do laundry, get it ready for tomorrow. And then there's also a conference-wide conference call for the SWAC head coaches that he has to be on while they're en route to take on Holly Springs at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
It's amazing what these coaches do behind the scenes. And it's unbelievable. Then with this game tomorrow, the amount of time and rest, there's no rest. So they're going to have to come out, quick turnaround, and for them, again, the focus is on tonight.
So Corey Jones makes one. He'll have one more from the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw line. 1 of 2. Rebound kept alive, but off of the fingertips of Aquacall and retrieved by Apex Friendship. Just 1-3 in the opening quarter for the Patriots, but back-to-back to open up the second quarter. And a lead to 5, and miscommunication there. But look at Nolan save an errant pass that wasn't even close to being intended for him. Proctor had cut off his route, gone the opposite direction, and that had no business being saved by this man, Nolan. And a one-legged floater. Did he not deserve that bucket right there? 23-16.
He makes it look so easy. You see a couple possessions earlier, effortless three-point shot and then driving the lane.
There's a 3 out of the corner by Brandon Hupstetler, 6'3" senior, who's one of the sharpshooters on this Titan team. And now becoming a three-point fast as Proctor knocks down his second of the game.
Both teams can get hot in a hurry, and you look at the range on both sides. They can step back and get close to NBA range. It really forces defenders not only to close out, but beyond the three-point line.
On the baseline, Malik Wensman stepped on the baseline, turns it over to Apex Friendship. 26-19, Apex Friendship leading. Couple of minutes gone by in the second quarter. And a reminder, stay tuned for the Wegmans to Go High School Hoops halftime report. We'll have first half highlights and a whole lot more. Proctor to the bench for Apex Friendship. And here's Kenny Nolan with offers from Army, from Navy, from Eastern Kentucky, UNC Asheville, and Dartmouth. And many more to come from what we are hearing for Kenny Nolan, number 2. And this is Nolan. No look pass to Holmes. Now they play into the corner, Proctor. And off the call for the rebound for South Garner.
Pretty good ball movement there. The Titans moving to a zone defense, something they rarely do, trying to change up the looks.
Patriots up by 7. Aquacall trying to take over, to a lot of attention in the lane. Bailey nearly walked. And Aquacall thinking about this kind of range, doesn't quite trust himself.
Yeah, you see the Patriots kind of baiting back, daring him to shoot that three-point shot.
A little trip of the knee by Kenny Nolan called for the foul. Now Nolan is such an interesting story because he grew up in New Mexico and landed here in Apex just prior to his sophomore year. Father stayed back in New Mexico, so Kenny Nolan and his mom moved here specifically targeting Apex and the Triangle in North Carolina. Reached out via Twitter to PJ Lohman, the head coach for Apex Friendship, because they knew it was a newer school. They wanted to create some extra visibility for Kenny Nolan to play basketball where basketball is really revered here in North Carolina, and give him a chance. And he has helped reconstruct this program from 1 win to where they are now undefeated in the regular season finale.
Unexpected gift kind of coming in here, and what he's done for this program and elevated really the potential and the goals. He's been a star player for the past 3 years. Ganem
again with another 3. He has 8 early, and the lead is 8 as Bailey rims off from the free throw line. But watch out if this Patriots team gets hot from the outside. There's the take, there's the finger roll, and yes, of course, it is home gym. That's going to roll good. And Nolan beginning to take over. He has 13 in the first half, and a South Garner timeout.
On the touch there to finish at the road with a little spin, but again, it's that three-point threat, putting up the shot fake and then going into the lane. We see here again, the fast break opportunities. The Patriots continuing to push the pace, going there, a little bit of contact. That ball going in for 2, and he can score at all 3 levels, three-point line, mid-range jumper, and getting to the rim.
And I'm glad he used that term, what a gift, because that's really what Kenny Nolan has become. Again, this Apex Friendship School program, this is the 6th year they've had it. First year, they were winless, playing with basically all freshmen and sophomores. They went 0-20. The next year, which was PJ Lohman's first year, they won 1 game. They were 1-23. Their only win came against a fellow winless team in Carborough when they met. And then they began to turn things around. 10 wins the next year, 22 in their third year, and then last year going 23-5, tying for the conference title regular season with Garner and winning its first ever playoff game. And now, tonight, under the direction of the assistant coach Dalen Wiley right there in the middle of your screen, they're undefeated, on their way maybe to a #1 seed, and with aspirations going very, very deep into the postseason.
And doesn't it make this success so sweet, having gone through those tough times when you're not winning ball games, when you're getting kind of blown out, when you've got a young team, then now to see it all turn around and see all that hard work, perseverance, the foundation being built, for the coaching staff. Coach Lohman, I know he's just so proud of this team, and to see all their work ethic really pay off.
And Luke Proctor really reading that passing lane, deflected it away, but couldn't maintain his balance before he stepped on the sideline. So it will stay with South Garner, but they're in a bit of trouble here late first half as the three balls are going down. Apex Friendship up 10 with 3:56 left in the first half. Apex Friendship has now fired in 4 3-pointers in this second quarter, making the last few minutes a little bit more miserable for Samayan Jones on the sideline for South Garner. 10 points behind midway through the second quarter. Corey Jones from deep. And the offensive rebound to Julian King. Bailey to the rim, shot blocked away by Garner. But retrieved again by the Titans, still loose. And believe it or not, no whistle, and that won't go in either off the fingertips of Julian King. We finally get a whistle, and it's going to be a foul, it appears, on Apex Friendship.
Down low, when you get those offensive boards, put up that shot fake, you're going to get everybody jumping, going for it. And they're just getting it and shooting it. It's tough when the defenders are just jumping, kind of flailing everywhere. Put up that shot fake, you get guys off balance, you can just get the contact, have an easier path to the hoop.
Ganem out, asking in for the Patriots. Apex Friendship playing with a 10-point lead. South Garner really playing for its postseason life here tonight. Awkward call, wants a little isolation. Askin Hedges. Lean-in jumper might have been deflected by Askin on the way up. And well defended against, right now, the top offensive scoring threat for South Garner in this contest.
Askin, length, 6'10", those long arms. Coach Lohman really has been impressed with his defensive effort this season, Patrick. On the offensive end, he's getting better, providing a good little scoring punch down low, but that defensive end, that's where he excels.
Kenny Nolan, good utilization there with a pump fake. Back around the perimeter, this is Isaac Holmes. Back to Nolan, through 3 defenders, gets it to Luke Proctor. Good baseline drive through some contact. Pretty quick first step on that baseline by Proctor.
And the vision to see the baseline open, and then the quickness to get through. Defenders were not able to close it off, and they could finish. That was just a really good job making a wise decision. The 3 wasn't there, and then you drive in.
And the biggest lead of the night for the Patriots grows to 12, as does the turnover total for the Titans as Bailey called for a walk. Ryan Jones awarded with Josh Johnson. Now this South Garner program has only been around for 3 years. They'll have their first graduating class coming up in a couple of months, but it's been tough for all of these coaches and all of these programs around North Carolina and frankly nationwide, as that one will drop in again for Kenny Nolan off of his initial miss, and that's 15 now for Nolan in this first half. But coaching virtually has been a major challenge in terms of getting to know your players. For South Garner, a lot of transfers in that Samayan Jones didn't know. For Apex Friendship, basically a brand new unit of players because they graduated such high quality players from last year, including Nick Farrar, who is now suiting up for NC State with Kevin Keats.
And for Samayan Jones, building that chemistry, meeting all these guys, and really it's right at the start of the season. You don't have all those summer camps, and for Apex Friendship, Coach Lohman talked about, what does he love most is that camaraderie during the summer, going to camps, team building, and they just didn't have it as the normal year.
Nice bucket there, a little pull-up by Julian King. And for the Titans, in the case of Corey Jones, the first day that Samayan Jones met up with Corey Jones, one of his stars in this year's team, was the very first day of basketball training. Otherwise had no other contact experience with him whatsoever. You're trying to build that rapport and that trust from player to coach, coach to player, teammate to teammate. Very hard to do. Jump ball called. Apex Friendship up 12 with a minute 28 left. And meanwhile, for the Patriots, they took the players on their own, went down to South Carolina to play some tournaments and some games down there to build that rapport that they needed, far away from P.J. Loman and his staff.
With Feet on Hoops, they're having to go down there every weekend just to get in games and kind of have that building block towards the season, and that really helped and benefited them as the season started.
This is Corey Jones. Can't get through Proctor. Okwakal on the baseline, spins, got in between a couple of defenders. The closeout was not there, and he will shoot a couple of free throws.
Okwakal with that strong left arm to get separation, get the contact down the hoop. You see here as he goes in the paint, see there's that left arm, the push. Could have gotten called, didn't, and then he finally got to the line with a little bit of contact on his arm.
So a couple of free throws presented by Anchor Auto Outlets for Nigel Okwakal. He's been on varsity since his freshman year, and really regarded as perhaps the best all-around player on this South Garner team. Taking nothing away from Corey Jones, but just with everything that Okwakal can do, score, rebound. We've seen a lot of good post moves. And at 6'4", still growing a little bit. One more free throw coming for him. So 1 of 2 for Okwakal. A reminder, stay tuned. The Wegmans to Go High School Hoops halftime report is on the way in about 50 seconds. Highlights from the first half and a whole lot more, so stay tuned for that. Apex Friendship up 11 on South Garner. Sam Gregg, number 14, on the floor for the Patriots. And Apex Friendship have the patience to take it down all the way. They will not. To the hole goes Gabe Proctor, a bit out of control. He went up and landed. Still in possession of the basketball, called for a travel.
Well, there's the ball movement on the outside, a lot of picks, and you saw them on the perimeter. Then they decided they had a lane. It was just a little bit out of coordination there. You get the travel, and now Apex Friendship's going to have to play good defense here. South Garner needs to gain some momentum here as we go into the half.
Well, we do know P.J. Loman, he's been taking notes in this first half. He will call in on his speakerphone and talk with his team at halftime. And with an 11-point lead, it should be a pretty good talk until that one. A and one opportunity for Julian King. Draws the foul on Askin. That cuts it to 9 with 9 seconds left in the free throw for the Titans on the way.
The Titans are at the best, attacking the hoop, getting the contact, going by 2 defenders. And King not really knocked off his spot, was able to just continue through that contact. And you get an opportunity here, you get 2 points, then knock down this free throw. It's exactly what they needed.
From the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw line, knocked down, 3-point play, and King into double figures in this first half with 10. Now can the Titans defend the final shot? The lead is down to 8. A long skip hits Gabe Proctor open at the horn. That won't go. This will go if it counts, and it does. A turnaround by Luke Proctor on the baseline off of the offensive rebound. The release just before 0-0.
And you see this long three-pointer go up, defender closing out, and then the extra effort, Proctor going up right before the buzzer hits 0 to get 2 points to stretch out that lead. 37-27 going into the half.
And the younger brother Gabe saying, do I get an assist for that, Luke? Apex Friendship by 10 at the half. Apex Friendship up 10 on South Garner at halftime, 37-27. You're watching the Wegmans to Go High School Hoops halftime report, and now it's time for the Riddle & Brantley Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Riddle & Brantley is proud to present the MyRDC High School Hoops Riddle & Brantley Scholar Athlete of the Week. From South Garner High School, the Riddle & Brantley Scholar Athlete of the Week is Ben Mangungu. Ben stars in soccer, football, and track and field, and carries a 3.0 GPA. Ben has participated in student government, Man of Excellence, and Honor Society. Ben is also involved in his church and enjoys education on government and the criminal justice system. From Apex Friendship High School, the Riddle & Brantley Scholar Athlete of the Week is Liam Schmidt. Liam is a 2-year varsity basketball player, 2-time conference champion, and carries a 4.5 GPA. Liam is student body president, a member of the National Honor Society, DECA state champion, and volunteers with Pat's Making Mats, a program at Apex Friendship which creates sleeping mats for members of the community.
Riddle and Brantley is proud to be a sponsor of the Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Congratulations to these All-Stars, and good luck on your eligibility for a $3,000 scholarship at the end of the season.
Riddle and Brantley. Injured in an accident? Call Riddle and Brantley when justice counts.
Kenny Nolan 15, Luke Proctor 12. Apex Friendship a 10-point lead on South Garner at halftime. Patrick Keene is back with you, and now let's join an interview with Jay Sohnhalter. He did with Paul Janowski from West Shore Home earlier this week.
We're talking with our high school hoops presenting sponsor, Paul Janowski of West Shore Home. Paul, how is West Shore Home different from working with other home improvement companies?
Hey, thanks for asking, Jay, and thanks for having us. The home improvement industry is plagued by complaints of cheap work, poor quality, unmet expectations. So we decided to reinvent home remodeling. At West Shore Home, we believe you deserve a better, safer, and easier home improvement project. So we made our process risk-free, easy design process, trusted installation, and convenient financing.
Why do you feel it's important for West Shore Home to support high school sports?
Yeah, thanks for asking. Super important. Here at West Shore Home, our #1 goal is bringing happiness to every home. We're here to support families and children in all of their home improvement projects, as well as their outside activities from the home. That's why for anyone watching this right now, we're going to give you an additional $500 off on our current sale price.
Thank you for your support of high school sports, Paul. Tell the viewers how important this offer really is.
Oh, of course. And again, thanks for having us, Jay. But yeah, this offer is absolutely huge. It's one of the biggest offers we've ever put out there. We believe that homeowners deserve a better, safer, and easier home improvement project, and this will just make it even easier for them. That $500 off all our current sale prices.
Thank you, and it's great to have you as our high school hoops presenting sponsor. Back to you, Patrick.
All right, thank you, Paul. Thank you, Jay. More of the Wegmans to go high school hoops halftime report coming up. Apex Friendship at home, trying to finish an undefeated season up on South Garner by 10. Wegmans to go high school hoops halftime report continues from Apex, North Carolina. It is the final Friday of the regular season of the truncated high school basketball season here in North Carolina. Apex Friendship up 10 on South Garner. And Jay, let's get to some first half highlights. Ended 15-15 at the end of one, primarily because of a couple of things. Uncle calls scoring and the defense to keep the Patriots off the three-point line.
Yeah, and really getting into the paint. That's where they played their best on the offensive end. Aquacall, though, could step out, hit that mid-range jumper, and they had some strong runs. The defense of the Patriots created some turnovers, but you just see those jumpers. They kind of got hot there, especially in the second quarter with their outside shooting. But Apex Friendship was just too much.
Julian King had an exceptional first half for Garner, finishing with 12 points. Well, only one three-pointer made in the opening quarter, but you knew that was not going to last. 4 knocked down by the Patriots in the second quarter.
And they stretched out the defense. They started getting hot, shooting with confidence, and the ball movement really opened up some easy opportunities. Again, they pushed the pace. Transition offense is so important for them. You see the multitude of guys getting involved, and Nolan, the best offensive player, start heating up from the outside. And then he used that outside shot to get into that mid-range area to shoot those jumpers.
Early in the first half, the Patriots were looking in transition off after the defensive rebound. Then in the second quarter, everybody got hot from the outside. And this is the buzzer-beating shot. One Proctor misses, one older brother saves from Gabe to Luke for the final bucket of the first half. Apex Friendship up by 10, trying to close out a perfect regular season. They are going for a 14-0 finish. Third quarter is next. Ready to begin the third quarter in the final Friday of the regular season in the SWAC. Apex Friendship in the white uniforms leading South Garner by 10. Patrick Keene, Jay Sohnhalter with you. And Gabe Proctor with Askin. Kenny Nolan, 15 in the first half, delivers beautifully to Will Askin on the inside. The lead back to 12 for the Patriots.
Double team coming up to Nolan. Askin kind of hiding down there in the paint. Beautiful pass, just throwing over the top and Askin finishing.
Just such unselfish play by Kenny Nolan. Josh Johnson shut off on the baseline, fade away right over Proctor. Nice bucket by Johnson.
Johnson averaging right at 9 points per game. He had those 2 fouls early in the first quarter. They need him to have a big second half here and really use his perimeter scoring to their advantage.
This is Kenny Nolan again. The delivery inside to Will Askin twice in a row, drawing attention near the foul line. Askin just drifting to the rim, and Kenny Nolan finds him both times and a South Garner timeout.
Just a 2-man game there, and Askin falling into the right spot, forcing that timeout, and that's exactly how you want to come out of the halftime break for the Patriots, coming out with momentum. Good job passing the ball, easy opportunities to convert.
41-29 Apex Friendship. A reminder, we would like to thank United Rentals for powering tonight's high school hoops basketball game. United Rentals, you're building the future. We're here to help. And Jay, I can't help but wonder, with these play calls we've seen the first 2 offensive sets for Apex Friendship, were these called by Jalen Wiley, or were these called in on speakerphone by P.J. Lohman at halftime from his living room and his 4 kids?
Yeah, and that's such an interesting dynamic. How is it going at his house right now? He's got to be happy, but you're right, though. Those are 2 smart play calls, and you wonder if it's coming from the house right now, not at the gym.
Yeah, PJ did make sure that that we were aware that he was going to defer to Jalen Wiley to address the team first, and then PJ Lohman would chime in. But the relationship between those 2, and frankly the entire Wiley family with PJ Lohman, it's almost like an extension of Lohman's family. We'll tell you why in a moment, as Joshua Bailey is about to head to the free throw line. So right now, the high school head coach where P.J. Lohman came from, Jordan Matthews, is that man's father. Jalen Wiley's dad, Rodney, is there now. But Jalen came with P.J. Lohman to Apex Friendship. He's been on the bench with P.J. Lohman for all 5 of his years. But Jalen's dad was on the sideline as an assistant coach with P.J. when he was at Jordan Matthews. And PJ has known Jalen since he was about in the 6th grade, roaming around and picking up some loose basketballs and maybe practicing from time to time. A couple of U.S. Coast Guard free throws are made.
And what a great relationship. It's trust, it's familiarity, it's somebody that you can count on, and good people that you work with. And Coach Lohman just was singing the praises of Coach Wiley.
Another drive and another assist for Kenny Nolan on a deep 3 knocked down by Gabe Proctor, his first of the game.
This is the best offense you'll see from the Patriots. This is what makes them one of the best offensive teams in the state. That 3-point shot and the versatility with so many players being able to shoot it.
And another West Shore home 3-pointer. Convert your old bathtub into a modern and spacious walk-in shower in just 1 day. West Shore home. 6 threes in this contest now for Apex Friendship. And of 3 field goals in this 3rd quarter, Kenny Nolan has assisted on all of them, as Johnson does not get that one to go. There's the zip line pass to Nolan. He said, I don't need an assist this time. Not on your life. Nolan strokes one down, and it's now a 16-point Apex Friendship lead.
They're lethal on offense. Transition, 3-pointer. South Garner trying to get back, but not quick enough. One kind of flaring out there after that rebound.
And that one rims off. Rebound grabbed by Proctor. He looks ahead. It was read and intercepted by Jones. And Garner in desperate need of just getting its game back under control, and they do so in transition on a bucket by Corey Jones.
Titans are going to have to get stops on the defensive end and limit the 3-point opportunities, because they can score with 2s, but you can't give up 3s on the other end. But again, you've got to get turnovers and limit the possessions.
And Nolan will head to the foul line as Johnson picks up another foul. We didn't see a lot from him in the first half because of foul trouble.
Nolan, 6'3", Patrick. He's got the quickness that you'd expect of a guard, but also toughness. You see there going in the paint, he is not scared. He's physical. He can get to the free throw line. And that jump shot that he has, so smooth, natural. A lot of hard work that he's putting into his game.
It looks like that foul is going to be assigned to Corey Jones instead. One more free throw on the way from the U.S. Coast Guard free throw line. GoCoastGuard.com. 1 of 2 for Nolan, so he has 19 of the Patriots' 48 points, and a whistle blown and a stoppage play here.
Injury timeout.
And they're calling for an injury timeout, and on the back of your screen you see one of the players there, Josh Johnson of South Garner, walking off the floor, either toward an athletic trainer or toward the hallway. It looks like he's going to the Apex Friendship athletic trainer for a little bit of treatment. We'll check on him. Well, and Sabayan Jones was warned that this was maybe the best shooting team in Apex Friendship's brief history. We're seeing that here in the second and third quarters. A lot of weaponry on the outside. Nolan, we've seen him score, but now we've seen him distribute in this third quarter. And a lot of other open parts as Julian King, the reception of that pass near the rim for the easy deuce.
A nice pass, and a 13-point deficit for the Titans, you know. And for them, the goal needs to be here. We got to get in single digits going into the fourth quarter.
This is Cole Ganem, knocked down a couple of threes the first half. And rebound controlled by South Garner. But the looks are still pretty clean from the perimeter for the Patriots. Aqua call will head to the free throw line. Fouled by Askin.
When you look at the roster for the Patriots, you have all these talented guards inside. Askin, 6'10". You've got a post presence, so they can do it on the inside and the outside. They're going to be a tough team once it gets to the playoffs next week.
Yeah, and Askin, not from a big family in terms of his parents at 6'10", but he has a brother who's also a pitcher and a first baseman who also stands 6'10", and Askin was around 6'6", 6'7" when he entered high school. One more free throw from the U.S. Coast Guard free throw line. GoCoastGuard.com. A couple of free throws knocked down. 48-37 is the 11-point lead for Apex Friendship halfway through the third. Proctor gets the return pass. This is Nolan. Luke Proctor the take with some English. Scoops it in with the right hand.
How did he get that up there? He just kind of floated in the air, put the spin on it to knock it in.
I mean, a team like this with all these different offensive weapons, it's going to test your patience defensively because every possession they are a major threat. Bailey on the inside against Ganem. And now retreats. Corey Jones, the runner. And the rebound to Luke Proctor. And this is where we've seen the Patriots fluidly in transition, especially early in that first half. The extra pass to Gabe Proctor and another three. Third of the quarter, the 8th of the night for Apex Friendship.
And that's unselfishness and ball movement. There's some shot opportunities there. They made the extra pass to get the perfect shot.
Bailey again, one-on-one against Ganem. This time he will attack, follow his own miss, and bank that one home. Sticking with it, Joshua Bailey, just a sophomore. And it's a 14-point lead for Apex Friendship.
Well, the Titans hanging in there, but they've got to do it on the defensive end. If they want to win this ball game, if they want to come back, they've got to create turnovers and stay strong.
And this is Gabe Proctor still with the hot hand. Third of the quarter for Proctor and number 9 tonight for the Patriots.
Heating up. I mean, Patrick, this team beyond the three-point line, I said one of the best in the state. They may be the best in the state. And their offense, it can change the course of the game. They didn't really do much beyond the three-point line in that first quarter. But since that point, they've turned it on.
If they shoot this well beginning Tuesday, this will be a tough out in the North Carolina State playoffs. Apex Friendship on the strength of 9 threes, up by 17 late in the third. Apex Friendship up 17 on South Garner. Jalen Wiley, the longtime assistant coach for the Patriots, he wants to claim this one as a win as a head coach on his ledger. Late in the third, a 17-point lead. And a reminder, the Scholar Athlete brought to you by Riddle and Brantley. Injured in an accident, call Riddle and Brantley when justice counts. Little step back by Aqua call. And he now has 9 in the contest, but it has to begin, Jay, right at the defensive end. Quick whistle, foul on South Garner.
And they have to find a way. You know, we talk about being good on defense. Well, I mean, the Apex Friendship is shooting bombs from the outside, so it starts with getting back in transition defense, eliminating easy opportunities. And then we talked about in the open, defending the three-point line. They've got to extend their pressure and force the Patriots at least to put the ball on the floor and get them off their spot, because right now it's just too easy with their ball movement. They're getting open looks.
Yeah, 4 of the 5 starters for the Patriots have made at least 1 3-pointer, many multiple. This is Nolan. Nolan can't find the range there. He's knocked out a couple. And this is where the Titans need to start attacking into this deficit. 3-pointer missed by King. And picked up by the Patriots with a 15-point lead. And another beautiful look to the inside and a rare miss from short range by Nolan. I think he was surprised how close he was to the rim, but unable to get the payoff is Corey Jones. Little bump, whistle, and that's going to count. Bucket for Luke Proctor, finishing through contact, and the lead back to 17.
And then again, fast break, and look at the pace of Proctor. Kind of little hesitation, getting the contact, floating. We've seen him a couple times float into the paint. And then the ability to focus. What an impressive night for Proctor.
So Proctor was 16 unofficially. He heads to the U.S. Coast Guard free throw line. Go CoastGuard.com. 17-point lead for the Patriots. A minute left in this third quarter. And I would say whatever chemistry this unit was looking to find really on their own in South Carolina with all those pickup games and tournaments a few months ago, they have found it. And they are now a force here in the triangle. And who knows, we were talking with both head coaches about the playoff structure that will be unveiled on Sunday. 16 teams in the East, 16 in the West, 7 automatic bids by conference champions. Second place will also have 7 bids, and then 2 third-place teams from whichever conferences we don't know. But they're not going to seed 1 through 16. It really will truly be picking out of the hat of the 7 conference champions, picking out of the hat for the 7 second-place finishers. You may have the best 2 teams, the triangle matchup potentially in the first round.
Yeah, and it's going to be about matchups, and then also, Patrick, I think depth is going to be huge because you don't know with the health situation who's going to be available to play. You've got to have a deep team, and you just really hope out of the luck of the draw that you don't get a tough matchup early on.
1 second left. This will go if it just was ahead of the buzzer, but a 3 is off the mark by Aquacall, and that is the end of the third quarter. Apex Friendship outscores South Garner 24-14. 9 threes tonight by the Patriots. They're up by 20 heading to the fourth. 20-point lead for Apex Friendship on its way. It'll be a victory lap to the first unbeaten regular season in school history. 61-41, Patriots leading South Garner as we begin the fourth quarter. Julian King heading to the free throw line for the Titans. Now for South Garner, it's an interesting time within their basketball program. Again, the school just opened its doors a couple of years ago. The interim head coach is right there, Samayan Jones. The head coach, Charles Harris, opted out at the start of this year to be back with his family, which then forced Samayan Jones to become the interim head coach this year. And again, this is a newly developing program. They're graduating their first kids coming up as King has one more from the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw line. And that is missed, a 19-point lead. But South Garner graduates 3 seniors who frankly don't play a lot of minutes, so all the starters are coming back next year, and they're going to a new conference next year as well. So a lot of novelty already for South Garner, even more looking ahead next year.
When you look at the stats, 4 guys in double figures coming back to next year's team, and Corey Jones, the leading scorer, he'll be back as well. And this is a team, a lot of transfers coming in this season, so you didn't have that opportunity to really gel in the offseason. So the sky really is the limit, and next year is going to be interesting to follow this program to see how their season goes, because I think they're going to have an outstanding year when these guys continue another year in the program.
18-point lead. South Garner trailing. This is Julian King. And And a pass taken away by Kenny Nolan. Look out now, Kenny Nolan finger rolls it in. We've seen him jump the passing lane a couple of times tonight, and a clean finish with a lot of finesse.
Well, Patrick, the coaching staff looks at him as a leader, but they talked about, Coach Woman talked about, not only is he a great player, but he's really a better person. And his personality, what he's done, what other guys look up to him, his work ethic, just what his dominance has meant to this program has been huge.
A nice little finish by Julian King right over a well-defended Patrick Sams. And it's back to 18, so South Garner beginning to find a little bit of rhythm offensively. And they need some defensive stops and some misses from three-point range. And a rare miss there by Gabe Proctor, who has made 3 in the second half.
And they mix up the looks there, zone pressure. It's going to leave the corners wide open. One of the few Apex Friendship hasn't not been.
South Garner basketball. Jalen Wiley on the Apex Friendship sideline wearing the tie. It's not so tough to coach to wins when you have 9 3-pointers at home.
Debut's going well so far.
I can do this. Two minutes gone by in the fourth. This is Huffsteller, and that is what he does. He's a major three-point threat for South Garner. And don't look now, it's down to 15, and we're going to see a little bit of pressure here from the Titans to try and turn the Patriots over. The 1-2-2 3-quarter court look. And now they will scramble and find their man-to-man assignments here. Kenny Nolan not on the floor right now for the Patriots. On a dive cut, Proctor missed. And the rebound last touched by South Garner, much to the chagrin of a couple of Titan players. Well, if the Titans are going to make a run, they have to do it now with Nolan on the sideline, getting a breather. And a couple of good offensive possessions for South Garner. But Nolan's not going to be there long.
Well, we'll see kind of the strategy on the offensive end. Do you try to use clock here? Or do you still stay aggressive? Look for opportunities as quick as they may come. But it looks like they're slowing down the pace a little bit. Very willing to pass the ball on the perimeter and use this clock and narrow this game down.
Nearing the 5-minute mark left in regulation. This is Patrick Sams, the junior. Isaac Holmes lost the handle, squirts right to his teammate. Good break for Apex Friendship. They've taken a good 40 seconds off the clock here. That one is safe from going out of bounds, and it will be finally turned over. And that offensive set by Apex Friendship was a train wreck.
And no shot clock here in high school basketball in North Carolina. A lot of talk about whether you should have one or not. Patriots using it to their advantage, but you want to see your team use a lot of clock and then still protect the basketball and execute there. It's not a good look as the turnover came about.
Well, if this goes, it's a different game as Huffsteller try to go back-to-back. Deficit remains at 15 for South Garner. Well, we're seeing the absence of Nolan here in terms of ball handling and really just kind of the offensive leadership out here on who's going where. We've seen a lot of deflections, of bad passes, and yet another turnover. I would imagine we'll see Nolan get off the bench here momentarily. Huffsteller will try again. Offensive ribbon, Aqua call. Out to King, and King called for the walk. And those are possessions you can't give up if you're the Titans trying to rally.
And those are opportunities that you knock down a couple of shots here the last 2 possessions. You got maybe a 10-point deficit and still some time left, but you got to get going.
So a timeout in Apex. 13-point lead for the Patriots on their way perhaps to their first undefeated regular season in school history. Out of the South Garner timeout, Apex Friendship still maintaining a 15-point lead, 65-50. And as expected, Kenny Nolan, the 6'3 senior, is right back on the floor. Scored 37, which was a school record against Holly Springs earlier in the week. And he's back on the floor wearing number 2 with 20 on his ledger here tonight. And that was probably the best opportunity to really cut into this deficit for the Titans. They did so a bit had maybe 3 other possessions that they were unable to cash in on. Defender falls, Proctor delivers, misses, Nolan out of the corner. Right back to Luke Proctor, and leaves the 3 shorts. And jousting for that rebound, it is out of bounds, and no signal yet, and now it is South Garner basketball.
I like the fight of Askin down low, continue to scrap and claw for that ball.
So it's 65-50, Apex Friendship up by 15. And there's the final under 4-minute timeout of regulation. We'll keep it here, though, and talk about what Apex Friendship really has on the schedule next. They'll find out their draw in the 4A postseason on Sunday. And Jay, how do they look? You're seeing them up close for the first time today. How do they match up against other teams depending on that draw?
I think the only thing that you can say is, maybe clean up some of the turnovers and hit some three-pointers in that first quarter. Other than that, they've been great. They can shoot it from the outside. They push the pace. They've got an inside presence on the defensive end. I like Askin down low. So I think they're going to have a strong playoff run, but it's going to be about matchups. But I think they can match up with any style team. If you play bigs, you got Askin down low. If you got guards, you've got plenty of guards that can guard for the Patriots out front. So they've got all the pieces that you look for in a team to make a strong playoff run.
All right, let's take a look at tonight's Westgate Kia of Wake Forest play of the game. And here it is, waning moments, second quarter. Gabe Proctor misses a 3. His older brother Luke gets the rebound and twists in the baseline jumper just ahead of the horn. And that is your play of the game. WestgateCars.com. We will make you a believer for life. Back underway, Apex Friendship up by 15, but you're right, Jay, this is going to be a really tough scout for whoever draws Apex Friendship in the early rounds of the playoffs. Take away by the Patriots, and it's really because most high school teams have 1 premier scorer, sometimes 2, maybe 3. You look at this Patriots team, 4, if not 5 players are able to score in bunches, led by this man, Kenny Nolan.
It's that 3-point shot. If you double-team Nolan, you got Proctor outside. So you're going to give up open looks to somebody you decide to double, and that's why it's going to be so tough because they're so versatile, and everybody can shoot.
And Kenny Nolan at the free throw line. There is point number 21 from the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw line. And putting the 9 3-pointers in perspective, Nolan has made 2 threes. Gabe Proctor has 3. Cole Gannum barely called his name in this second half. He had 2 very early in this contest. Luke Proctor has 2. And Will Askin, we know, is underneath the rim. But that's 9 3-pointers across 4 different players who rarely leave the floor. And Huffstetler off the mark again. Offensive rebound, Karams to Johnson. Saved by the Titans. Josh Johnson, the runner with the left. Gannon clears the miss.
And Patrick, the other thing that we've talked about is their up-tempo offense pushing the pace. It forces defenders to get back and put so much pressure on those defensive guys, and they get a lot of easy buckets when teams are hustling back.
And there is number 10 on the night for the Patriots. It's the 3rd by Luke Proctor. And Proctor, by my numbers, also with 20+. But what you see about this Patriots team, and look at Jalen Wiley, the longtime assistant coach, who's the acting head coach tonight. I just love the way their offense flows. You have not only a leader in Nolan, but he's not a ball hog. He's not taking every shot. We've seen him on 3 straight possessions when this third quarter began. Dish, assist, find the open teammate, rewarded every single time. And then some of his teammates, they know when he drives, he's attracting a lot of attention. They just kind of fade out to the open spots on the floor. He knows as well as anybody does that they're capable of knocking down 3-pointers, and that's what elevates a team to a potential championship caliber squad.
They're very unselfish. You see ball movement, you see everybody get involved and feel like they're a part of the offense, and there's no weak links. Everybody can put the ball on the floor, they can shoot from the outside, they can drive and dish, but they make good decisions with the basketball. And you don't see any bad shots. Everything they shoot is a good shot, high percentage. They turn down good looks for better looks.
And again, the one thing to keep in mind as we snoop into the huddle of South Garner, all of the starters are back next year for South Garner, as we mentioned, heading to a brand new conference. But for Apex Friendship, this is the year for P.J. Lohman and Jalen Wiley and this team Yes, they graduated 4 seniors last year and all went to play major college, one in the ACC with Nick Farrar at NC State. But 4 of the 5 starters this year are also seniors. So if ever there's a year where everything's come together to make a deep, deep run and maybe raise a banner, this is it for Apex Friendship.
And no one has found a way to slow them down. They've had some close ball games, but undefeated on the season. You know, and you look at their performance tonight, they're playing their best basketball at the right time of the year. Now you get to sit back, relax this weekend. You get your draw on Sunday, figure out who to watch film, but go into that ball game on Tuesday with a lot of confidence.
Now, the one wild card, as we get a quick catch and release by Corey Jones, missed it. Offensive rebound by Julian King, and he will head to the free throw line with 2:22 left. The wild card is this. South Garner has already had a couple of disruptions related to COVID-19. Some players have been out. Their head coach opted out before the year began for family considerations. We know this is a year unlike any other. We know to expect the unexpected, as the first from the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw line is made by Julian King. For Apex Friendship, they have had virtually no disruptions as far as players, games. The one aside would be they're missing their head coach, who came down positive about a week and a half ago. But you get into early March when the postseason begins and continues. Anything can disrupt any program, no matter how fluidly things have gone for a couple of months. And you certainly hope with this kind of year Apex Friendship is having that nothing disrupts it as far as that goes, because this could be a very memorable year for the Patriots. Bucket by Isaac Holmes for his first points of the game.
And you said it, I mean, that's the scary part of this year. The unexpected, you don't know what's going to happen, and that's why it's important to have depth, because you want to have a deep team, and in case something does happen, you've got to make sure you've got enough of your players that can fill out the roster and play the best basketball when it's needed.
That was one last area of addressing for Apex Friendship. What have you seen defensively from the Patriots tonight, looking ahead into a deep postseason run?
They play hard. I mean, that's the biggest thing I notice is they hustle, they communicate well, they're in their right spots. You know, down low, they've got Askin to control the paint area. If they face a team with more than one big, you know, they could face some trouble there. But how many teams out there are going to have 2 post players? This has been a predominant, you know, perimeter players we've seen this season throughout the state. So I think on that end of the court, they've got the pieces, but they just have to continue to communicate and hustle like they've been doing tonight.
Well, a lot of the stars on this Patriots team will head off the floor for the final time in this regular season, as we get a look at Liam Schmidt, number 31. He was our Scholar athlete at halftime, scored a perfect 36 on the ACT. Did I read that? And it wasn't even brought up in the Riddle and Brantley Scholar athlete. We'll bring it up now. That is high marks for a near impossible feat. Congratulations to him, and what certainly will be a very bright future for number 31 in whites.
He's going to Vanderbilt. Outstanding school.
It's a top 10 academic school around the country by most ratings. There's a look at the 6'4" senior Liam Schmidt. 20-point lead for Apex Friendship. A little more than a minute left. And we get a foul on Apex Friendship. Trey Scheckler, one of the outgoing seniors on this team. So Jalen Wiley is going to move to a 1-0 in his head coaching career. And that is right through the hands of Julian King.
Patrick, you know, we talked early in the broadcast for the Titans. Quick turnaround again, 11 a.m. game tomorrow. So they're going to have to get ready and kind of flush this one away and have one more tomorrow and still an opportunity to get in the playoffs.
How unselfish was the perfect AC team, and Liam Schmidt was all alone under the rim and passed it away to a teammate. Not wanting to rub it in here with a 20-point lead. And now how important does tomorrow morning's game loom for South Garner? As Johnson misses a 3, the question is, will a win over Holly Springs be enough for South Garner to gain one of those, what will be now 2 open slots as a third-place finisher to reach the eastern half of the 16-team bracket?
Yeah, they felt like if they won tonight and tomorrow, great shot to get in the playoffs. Going to have a loss tonight, and then tomorrow there's unknowns, but they've got to take care of business and rebound quick from this ball game.
And they only beat Holly Springs by 3 points back in January. A rematch tomorrow morning as the free throw knocked down by Aqua Call at the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw line. So Samayan Jones will take his team back home. Everybody will head to the laundry room, wash their own uniform, and meet at the bus about 9 a.m. tomorrow for a little trip to Holly Springs with truly everything on the line for South Garner. And a win does not guarantee that they're in. It really would end their conference season at 5-5, but give them hope when the bracket is revealed on Sunday. 18-point lead for Apex Friendship. Final seconds will tick off. 5 years ago when they started this basketball program, they were winless, 0-20. 5 years later, they wrap up the regular season undefeated, 14-0, and the undisputed outright champs of the SWAC. The Apex Friendship Patriots knock off South Garner in complete perfection, 74-56.
They did it protecting their home court. Outstanding ball game. The defensive end, but offense was the story of the night. The three-point shot, transition, buckets, everything tonight, Patrick, they played at a high level. They've got to be very proud of their season.
What a story written by Apex Friendship and P.J. Lohman, Kenny Nolan and company, but still many more chapters to go. Is there a state championship looming for the Patriots? 74-56, Apex Friendship over South Garner. Trophy presentation when we return. When Apex Friendship opened up the doors on their basketball season 5 years ago, going 0-20, tonight would have been unthinkable. With a 74-56 win over South Garner, they finished this season unbeaten, 14-0. Jay Sohnhalter is on the court with P.J. Lohman, the head coach, certainly here in spirit to present the game-winning high school hoops trophy to an undefeated, perfect regular season to Apex Friendship and their interim head coach for one night, Jalen Wiley. Presenting the trophy to the team, and P.J. Lohman getting very close to his TV screen to examine. Congratulations to Apex Friendship. Well, all of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful folks at Westgate Kia and Westgate Dodge Ram of Wake Forest who make all of these games possible for you viewers. We'd also like to thank all of our other great supporters for their contributions to our high school hoops on MyRDC 28. Those are West Shore Home, Wegmans To Go, U.S. Coast Guard, Anchor Auto Outlet, and Riddle and Brantley. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support, South Garner High School and Apex Friendship High School. Join us next Thursday on MyRDC for the second round of the North Carolina State Playoffs. For Jay Sohnhalter and our entire crew, congratulations to the unbeaten, unvanquished Patriots of Apex Friendship. A regular season closes at 14-0, and a playoff run begins on Tuesday. Patrick Keenan from Apex thanking you for tuning in. Good night from North Carolina.